Okay, good day, everyone. This is Curtis here, and welcome to the 30 minutes of product management session. So this session is entailing DevOps, how we can deliver value, some practice, so a culture. And let me start right off. So what is DevOps? DevOps is a set of practice that aims to improve the collaboration and communication between software development and operations, the operations team. So the main goal of DevOps is to shorten the system's development lifecycle and deliver high quality software to customers. So I'm trying to get the slides up. Okay, so understanding DevOps, just as I explained, DevOps is more about the collaboration between the IT team, that is the development team, and the operations team to deliver value and to meet customer needs. And then we all know when it comes to product management, we look at getting requirements from the customers and delivering value and high quality software to customers. And we've got some principles of DevOps I would share with you. We've got the collaboration, we've got automation, we've got measurement, and we've got sharing. So looking at the bits, we all know when it comes to Agile, it's all about working together. There is no silos. You work together with the development team and deliver value. So and then we've got automation. Automation is using the autonomous process to help stop the manual development where we actually would have to go and check things on the softwares, make sure we have high quality software based on the customer needs. So automation is more of taking off all the manual tasks and then developing applications and deploying them in real time. So there is real-time development due to the DevOps practice you do include in your development team or the software and operations team. So next is measurement. When we talk about measurement, it's more about using data-driven insights and metrics into improving the delivery of software. Next is sharing. Sharing is more of using the knowledge tools that DevOps do hand us to share, let's say, metrics, let's say, collaboration. If there's any information, you do use those sharing tools to help deliver these softwares. So I would go to the product management perspective. So when you talk about product management, it plays a vital role in ensuring that the right products are developed to meet customer needs and business objectives. Product managers are responsible for defining the product vision, strategy, and roadmap, as well as prioritizing features and enhancements. So in the traditional product management perspective, or what they did before the introduction of DevOps, we had the lack of visibility. We had long release cycles. There was difficulty in aligning the development efforts and the business goals. That means the development teams were actually bringing out something different. Let's say there's some different information from the development team, and the operations team or the business team that is managing the software also do have different information. So DevOps actually brings all this together, and then it makes sure you do have there is some seamless transaction or there's some seamless process in delivering software. And then how do we address these challenges? DevOps is the best solution to enable the faster feedbacks, that is more of communication, and then using continuous delivery to help bring out value in the software processes. And also, it helps with the collaboration between the operations and the development team. That is the main objective. That is what when you talk about DevOps, that is the mindset on DevOps. So it's actually a culture. You can adapt it, and then you would help the delivery of software. There will be some seamless delivery of software in your organization. So there are some key components of DevOps. When we talk about DevOps, we've got lots of components, lots of benefits, but then I would state about 5 components of DevOps. First and foremost, we have the continuous integration. When we talk about continuous integration, it is the incremental release of applications. Let's say we've got developers working on various features. We've got the user stories on your backlog, and then we work on feature A. That could be something related to authentication, and then feature B could be something related to payments. So with a CI in place, you can actually build up code and then make sure there is some updates going on. There's feedback anytime there's an update has been made on a feature. There is much more improvements when it comes to code quality. So with the CI tools, I would get in there. So we've got some tools for DevOps, even at each layer. So I would get in the tools bits of it, and then I would share some of them to you. Next, we have the continuous delivery. When we talk about continuous delivery, it is more of delivering value to a customer by automating these processes. So anytime we have code integrated or we have code added to a repository, we try to deliver value as fast as possible to some various environments. Sometimes you would want to deliver value after every iteration. So anytime code is updated, and then at the end of the iteration, you would push the updates, and then you've got some deployment going on there. So that is one benefit of DevOps as well. Next, we have infrastructure as code. So with the infrastructure as code, it involves the managing and provision of infrastructure through machine-readable definition files. When you talk about these machine-readable definition files, it's more, let's say, I can provision a whole machine, a whole system with a configuration file. It could actually be 10 lines of code, and then I can have in a full virtual machine running on. And then I can also provision networks even with a file. So DevOps is actually giving us that flexibility to provision machines, to provision networks with a configuration file. So it helps automate all these processes. There's no need to go call in to get them provision some sort of networks and whatsoever. At the end, processes make processes very seamless in these environments. Next, we've got automated testing. And then we do know, or we are quite stated earlier, that you would always want to deliver high quality software to your customer. You will want to have some software that has got lags, that have got bugs, and it's going to actually it's going to not be a good thing on the product management side, because you're actually in the phase of these products. So first we look at testing, and then we've got a manual test. But the question is, are you going to test any feature manually and repeatedly? Because we've got some linkage between features. Sometimes you could have a feature A and feature B, and then after launching feature C, it could actually break down feature A, could introduce bugs. So with this automated test, you do put in this test, it would check for the functionality, check for performance, and even security. So called automated testing that improves the value or the performance of your software. Next, we have continuous monitoring and feedback. So when it comes to continuous monitoring, we are looking at the application performance, the experience, the user's experience, and then the health of your solutions. And next, we look at the feedbacks that we have in place for these teams. Let's say there is an issue with the networking side of the application. The operations team can look at it and then communicate their findings to the development teams. So DevOps, another key component of DevOps is to help monitor and then give feedback to these teams as well. So I would share the tools I stated earlier before the mention the components. So this is a roadmap for a DevOps developer. And we have in here some programming languages, some tools where you can provision a virtual machine and you can work with a terminal and then use the version control systems. This is mostly tailored to the continuous integration bit of DevOps. And we've got a hosting sites that is used for hosting these repositories. GitHub is one key and popular tool for hosting our repositories. Next, we have some web servers and load balancers included as well in those pipelines. So DevOps itself is actually the start and the end of an application, delivering value to a customer at every step. So these units are actually tools a DevOps developer would have to adapt, or they would have to learn to help you deliver value, or to work closely with the development and the operations team, break down the silos, and then you would have your applications up and available all the time to your users. So we can look in here. We've got the containerization, we've got Docker, we've got the cloud providers. I'm quite sure you would have some fair idea on AWS and Azure, which are the two most popular cloud hosting services for virtual machines and these instances. So next we have the infrastructure provisioning. So just as I stated, you can provision your virtual machines, you can provision your networks with a tool like Terraform. And then you can manage all these infrastructure with Terraform, and then you'd have everything available at your fingertips in code. Yes. So basically, there's no need to manually get a machine and then run the configurations, do some repetition. Everything is in place. You set up your templates and then you have everything available for you. Okay, so let me go next. Okay, so talking of collaboration and communication, we are looking at breaking down the silos between the development and operations team. So silos between development and operations teams can lead to miscommunication, inefficiencies, and delays in value delivery. Next, DevOps promotes cross-functionality or cross-functional collaboration and shared responsibility, breaking down silos and fostering a culture of teamwork and mutual respect. So that is one for collaboration. And next, we have the cross-functional collaboration in the DevOps culture. So DevOps encourages developers, operation engineers, QA professionals, and other stakeholders to collaborate closely throughout the software delivery cycle. cross-functional teams work together to achieve common goals, share knowledge, and solve problems collaboratively. So DevOps actually promotes the teamwork and communication between the development and operations team. This collaboration is achieved through shared tools like Microsoft Teams, like Slack. You can use your Jira boards to even communicate with each other. So that is a very big thumbs up for these tools as well. So next we have the automation bit of DevOps. One, we automate for efficiency. We don't do these manual process and then they become tiring, and then these processes are actually slow. If you do automate your processes, you kind of deliver value very fast. So you automate the build process, you automate the deployment processes, you automate the testing bit as well. So the result of all this is to improve the code quality and ensure that there is no bugs in production. Next, we have some benefits, that is reducing the errors and increasing speed, because you're always testing for performance. And then you are delivering value to your customers very fast. Next, we are looking at some tools that I quite mentioned. We had Jenkins. Jenkins is one of the tools for writing your tests. You can put in your test cases in there, and then it will test your repositories, your code bases, any feature that is pushed to production. It would make sure there is some test before it goes out there. And then you've got the GitLab CI/CD. That also you would an infrastructure as code. You can put in your pipelines, test and run deployments. We've got Ansible, we've got Terraform for infrastructure provisioning, and we've got Kubernetes for container orchestration. So we build in smaller blocks and deploy faster. That is one of the concepts, or one of the terminologies when it comes to DevOps. You are making sure everything is going out fast as possible. Next, we are looking at techniques like the configuration management using Chef. You've got infrastructure as code. I quite mentioned Terraform. You've got test automation. You can enable end-to-end testing through these pipelines. So you make sure there is value delivered at the end of your updates. So anytime code is added, you deliver, you test and you deliver, you deliver value. Okay, next we have some metrics and measurements when it comes to DevOps. One, we are looking at data-driven decision making. So data-driven decision making involves using quantitative and qualitative data to inform decisions, validate assumptions, and measure outcomes. In DevOps, measurements and metrics play a crucial role in performance, in assessing performance, identifying bottlenecks, and driving continuous improvement. Next, the key metrics for evaluating DevOps success. We are looking at your deployment frequency, your mean time to recovery, and your customer satisfaction. These metrics provide some overview to the product management team or the operations team, and then you kind of deliver value to your customer. You deliver efficiently, reliable software, and then match performance applications to your customers. So I'll share with you some reports from Azure DevOps. So you have here some pipeline or some tests going on here. Let's say you push code to a staging environment. You would have some tests going on, and then these tests could check if the functionalities you had before actually were still working. Whatever you added is still working, and then make sure everything is actually okay, the system is okay to go to the staging or the production environment. And then if there is any breakage, or if for some reasons there is some major failure in these tests, the team can be alerted, and then you would go resolve those bugs before the code is even merged to the various environments. So this is one shot I had. And then we've got another shot. We had 205,000 cases passed, and then we've got the results counts in here with a particular timeline. So you could know that, let's see, this two iterations that came out some days ago, so some weeks ago, it's actually not performance. You've got some breakage or some bugs in those features that you shipped out. The code wouldn't be merged. You would have to go resolve them before making the next update. But then you can actually get the metrics and then look at some reasons why the tests were failing. So these are some tools to check for the performances of your application. Okay, so we've got continuous improvement through the feedback loops. So the feedback loops enable teams to gather insights from data, identify areas for improvement, and make iterative changes to processes and practices. By continuously measuring and analyzing performance metrics, teams can identify trends, experiment with new approaches, and then optimize value delivery. So that is measurement and metrics. Okay, so let's come to the culture of DevOps. When it comes to DevOps, it's a culture. We all know it's a culture. You adapt to it. You can actually make some changes to it and then fit it to your team. So embracing culture for experimentation and continuous learning. DevOps culture values experimentation, innovation, and continuous learning. Teams are encouraged to embrace failure as an opportunity to learn, iterate quickly, and improve. Next, you overcome resistances to change. That is, resistance to change is natural and then arise due to fear, uncertainty, and inertia. So leaders also play a crucial role in fostering a culture of trust, empowerment, and psychological safety, where individuals feel comfortable embracing change and taking risks. So with this bit of the culture or the mindset about DevOps, let's say you used to write applications, you used to write your code, and then you push to production by hook, or and then by some lacks, everything works. Or if you've got a tester doing some manual testing, it's all part of the work. You try to deliver value to your customers, but then the question is, how fast do you go to market, or how fast do you go to production? So if you do adapt these changes, you do write your unit tests, you do automate your tests, your API testing, and your performance or security tests, that is actually going to help deliver value to the customers as fast as possible. Next, we have the leadership roles in cultivating DevOps culture. So leadership sets the tone for organizational structure, culture, and then drives adaptation of DevOps practices. Leaders should lead by example, champion DevOps practices, and then invest in training, coaching, and infrastructure to support cultural transformation. So as a product manager or as a product owner, you want to embrace these changes and then make sure you tailor everything down to your development and operations team. Give them this mindset, let them understand that you want to deliver reliable softwares to your customers. Okay, so implementing DevOps in product management. We are looking at assessing the current process in identifying areas for improvement. So before implementing DevOps practices, it's essential to assess current processes, identify pain points, and prioritize areas for improvement. Product managers should collaborate with development and operations and other stakeholders to gain a comprehensive understanding of existing workflows and challenges.